is a proving ground for man and machine. Interesting, this event, one of the last truly amateur automotive competitions in the world today. Over the years, so many people have left their mark on the salt here at Bonneville. Back in 1904, Henry Ford ran 91.37 miles per hour in his Ford 999. So over the years, a great deal of automotive history here at Bonneville. Traditionally, the cars that race at the Salt Flats have been totally built by hand in the family garage, although that is beginning to change with the advent of factory teams and factory involvement. And the variety of vehicles here is impressive indeed, from modified dragsters to the 350-mile-per-hour streamliners to stock sedans. There are a variety of classes, from the mini 30 cubic inch engine to the mighty 2,000 horsepower streamliners. It's amazing. Mega horsepower talent. It's all here today. Interestingly enough, most of the streamliners are made of either fiberglass or aluminum and range in length from 20 to 30 feet long, weighing anywhere from 1,200 to 5,000 pounds. The tires, too, are special and are a precious item for a Bonneville racer. Because of their size, they're in short supply. In fact, several racers are using aluminum tires, all in the pursuit of speed, as the salt rolls beneath their wheels. And a look at the daring drivers who race here. Oftentimes the builder and the owner, and they're strapped into the car, much like a fighter pilot. Here at Bonneville, there's a rigorous safety inspection to ensure a high level of safety for the competition should the unexpected occur. Years of work and dedication come down to the moment when you get the green light to challenge the salt. Welcome back, everybody, to Bonneville. I'm Peter Graves, and with me, Rick Vesco, Bonneville expert. And Rick, this is a magnificent place, often referred to as the eighth wonder of the world. What is so special about the Bonneville Salt Flats?
Well, it's the only place in the world that is absolutely flat and smooth and perfect for high-speed racing. There's nothing to hit.
Now, this course is 11 miles long. Let's walk me through this, please.
Well, it's 11 miles long, and the way that the track is set up, you have a 5-mile approach right now to a kilometer and also a mile, and then you have 5 miles also to slow down with your parachutes and whatnot.
Now, in looking at these cars, the driver is literally shoehorned in. What's it like to be inside? You've been there.
Oh, yes, I've been there. It's very claustrophobic, and it takes you a little while to get used to that situation, but aerodynamics is the name of the game out here, along with horsepower, so you've got to have a tight fit in order to perform with the big boys. That's the name of the game.
And Rick, it is a beautiful day here at Bonneville, and we are now looking at an aerial shot, a magnificent shot of this course, unique in character. Rick, over the years, many times you've been down between those long black lines. Explain the course to me.
The racetrack itself is 80 feet wide and it's 11 miles long. The acceleration zone that we have is 5 miles. When you enter the 5th mile, you start an electronic photocell. When you go the following mile out of the 6th, you stop that photocell. That is the timed area. Then from the 6th through the 11 is a slowdown area.
officials controlling this course. And Rick, it seems to me an ideal day for racing. I know when I got out and started walking around in this, I thought it was like ice.
Yeah, it's a lot of people think of it as being ice and tiptoe around if they're from back east, but it's as solid as asphalt, and you do not fall through. It's extremely hard.
And a look at our timing crew.
The timing crew does an excellent job. It's all electronically operated with printout readings for instant results.
Another aerial shot, and you can see that the pit crews and all the families have moved out here, making it quite a festive event in Bonneville. And now here's one of our early starters at Bonneville. This is Jim Bergdahl out of Ogden, Utah. And Rick, tell me about this car.
Yes, this is one of the very smallest cubic inch displacement cars. It's 30 cubic inches, and it's a Yamaha motorcycle engine. It runs on gasoline. The record in this class is 195 miles per hour. Jim's long-range goal is to go 300 miles per hour, and his wife would like to go 200 miles per hour.
And now, getting ready to go at the line is Al Teague in the 2,000 horsepower Speedomotive. We'll see him coming up a little later in the show. And already revved up and way underway is Jim Bergdahl. And look at him go. He looks good.
He's looking real good. He's should be in 6th gear right now, and he wants to enter the traps at his maximum RPM, which in this car should be around 11,500 RPMs.
Very few landmarks out on that course, Rick, so the landmarks must be in your mind out there. What goes through a driver's mind?
Well, you want to just make sure that everything's running properly and that the engine isn't misfiring. You're under throttle for a long time. Let's listen to this one.
Jim Bergdahl, a great time, a world record for him, 2:02.4, a great run. And now this vehicle listed in the program is a motorcycle, but Rick, it doesn't look like any motorcycle I've ever seen.
This is Kenny Lyon's motorcycle, and it is a streamlined motorcycle. That just says it's 2 wheels, and it has a body on it for aerodynamics. Now, if you notice, it's very, very squirrely and just about wants to tip over, but that's part of motorcycling. It is the ultimate challenge in balance and rider technique. Once he gets to 50 miles per hour, he pulls up the skids, and he is gone.
And Ken Lyon out of Torrance, California, and a BMW. Now we're at the Team Vesco camp. Rick, what's going on here as you get this car ready?
We're putting on the inner protective shell here, and this one gets buttoned down to protect the driver from any type of flying debris in case there's an accident.
And the crew working feverishly over the car right now. And now back in the timing trap, here is Ken Lyon, and he's up to speed.
He's looking real good right now. He is definitely going straight.
Very nice run. And look at the graphic, 2:05.2 for Ken Lyon. Well done. A look at the car of Al Teague. Year in and year out, he's been one of the fastest drivers at Bonneville, a real Salt Flats veteran. Teague's car is powered by a 2,000 horsepower engine fueled by nitromethane.
It's got a Keith Black Chrysler in it. It's the same type of engine that they run at the drag races, and it's set up similar to that. We're running nitromethane and putting out a pretty good power. We're a little different. We're only driving through the rear 2 wheels, and the other cars, Rick Vesco's car and Don's, and Nolan White's also 4-wheel drive car. But we're driving through the 2 wheels, and I don't know, maybe we've just been a little bit luckier or so. Our front tires are closer together, and we enter the air pretty good, but as far as anything else, I really couldn't say. When you figure that the ultimate speed for a wheel-driven car is held by the Summer Brothers at 409, we're kind of starting to knock on the door a little bit.
The track is clear and ready, and all eyes and ears are tuned to Al Teague when he goes to the line and takes his moment in the spotlight.
In 1988, Al turned an amazing 382 miles per hour. We're looking for a big one here.
And Al Teague, part of a California contingent that comes to Bonneville year in and year out. And final preparations being made in the Vesco pit area. Rick, to your car, what's happening here?
Final assembly, dropping the top half of the shell on, preparing for the next run.
And we'll see that Vesco Brothers Streamliner coming up in just a moment. Now back to Al Teague's car. And he is looking good. And look at all that salt being kicked up.
Yeah, those tires are spinning hard. He's putting down some traction.
Looked like a great run, 392.9 miles per hour for Al Teague of Brea, California.
That was the fastest wheel-driven run in the past 23 years. The parachute, as you see it here, is pulling him down to a stop. And without the parachutes, we'd still be going. He'd be down at Floating Mountain.
And Al Teague, a remarkable run here at Bonneville. Welcome back to the Bonneville Salt Flats, everybody. Peter Graves along with Rick Vesco. One of the elite cars in this competition is number 448, driven by Howard Nefsker of Tucson, Arizona, a retired IBM engineer. His car weighs 1,100 pounds and is powered by a Kawasaki Ninja 1000. And this veteran driver, who has worked for NASCAR and raced stock cars and motorcycles, shares with us some candid observations of life in the fast lane.
Well, it's been called insanity by some people. I consider it a challenge. I think it's the last frontier for the shade tree mechanic, an opportunity for a low buck racer to create something with his own mind and his own hands and come out here and see if you can get a record. You're running against the fastest time that's ever been run in your engine size with the type of fuel that you're running. So it's a different environment where there's no heat races, there's no semi-mains. You come to the racetrack, if you do not set a new track record, you lose, and everyone goes home. It's the only thing that's recognized is a track record, and that's a 41-year accumulation of the fastest speeds.
Earlier today, we taped one of the runs of the NASCAR Savage team, and we asked Howard to describe it from a driver's point of view. It's remarkable.
Put the glove on and get the steering wheel. Don't worry about
Okay, this is a team effort here. There's been a tremendous amount of time and effort and dedication from the people that are involved here so that we can all make this happen. And I think the other people are probably sharing the excitement and anticipation that I feel right now. Anticipation is very high at this point. We think we've done our homework. The final check on the belts, and we're waiting for the official signal now to close the canopy and move down the course. The engine is running. We're warming it up on the line to get some heat in the oil. Putting on the triple layer Nomex gloves now for fire protection that are required, and we're up to the starting line, and we're very close to making this run. Okay, canopy is coming down now and being secured in the car. This is when the pulse really comes up. There's a little claustrophobia that goes along with this. I signaled my partner that the canopy is latched and I'm ready to go. The car's in gear. The engine is running. We're waiting now for the starter, and he says, let's go. We have a push truck that pushes it up to about 40 miles an hour before I can pull the car away under its own power. We're moving now, accelerating as hard as the push truck can push me. About at this point, we begin to pull free of the push truck, and we're beginning to accelerate in first gear. The timing clocks are at the 5 mile. They clock your average speed from mile 5 through mile 6. We're in second gear now, and the revs are building up. We're shifting at 9,500 RPM. I'm checking the exhaust gas temperature. Here goes mile 1 by. We're in third gear now and building revs. We're at this point, we're probably running about 150 miles an hour. The engine is still pulling smoothly. I checked the supercharger boost pressure, and that's within margins, so we're staying on the course. We're moving now to mile 2. In fourth gear, car still accelerating. It's shaking a little bit due to rough salt, but very stable. All the parameters are within range, so no concern at this point. We're moving into mile 3 now, still accelerating well, no problems with the car. We're probably running at this point 225 to 30 miles an hour, still pulling cleanly. A balloon there to mark the edge of the course. We're coming up now on mile 4, just passed through that. We're probably running in the 240 mile an hour range. Everything still looks good. The car's stable. We're still accelerating. I'm in 6th gear now, and we're going into the first set of clocks here now at mile 5. We're just about 9,500 RPM and still accelerating gradually. The car looks good. Everything is smooth. Working good at this point. We just went through the kilometer clocks, and we're going out the back door now at mile 6 at around 251 miles an hour. I ease the throttle off gradually so the car doesn't twitch, changing from full thrust to coast. We're decelerating against the engine braking now. Revs are down to about 8,000. I downshift to 5th gear. We're passing mile 7. Time to hit the parachute. Unfortunately, the parachute shredded on this run, and it was unusable. It exploded and trailed behind the car, so I'm using the brakes a little bit, downshifting some more. Car's handling fine, no problems with it. We have plenty of room to stop. We're down at about the point now where I believe we can start thinking about getting off the course and clearing the way for the next car. Everything is smooth and good. All the engine signs are good, and we're going to start moving off to the right now.
And a look at the graphic and the speed, 256.9 miles per hour. And that's what it looks like to head down the Salt at over 200 miles per hour. And now a new car built with one thing in mind: to break the world land speed record, the Team Vesco Streamliner. Final preparations being made. The bragging rights at Bonneville are up for grabs, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. And the Vesco Streamliner being readied right now. Rick, what's happening here in these last-minute preparations?
Well, it's the final moments, getting in the car and preparing to make your attempt. The butterflies are in your stomach, and you're anticipating the run totally. The gentlemen are putting him in. That's our teammates. They're buckling him down, checking off the list, which is very critical to make sure that all the seat belts are properly fastened, that the fire system is correctly armed, that all the switches for fuel pumps, fans, and here goes down the canopy, locks him in.
Your brother Don inside the car, and there is a good look at this magnificent vehicle. A great combination of aerodynamics and horsepower.
That's true. We've got 15,000 hours into this vehicle over a 8-year period, and the aerodynamics we think are working correctly, and the horsepower is about 1,200 horses.
All right, and Team Vesco now puts it all on the line, Rick, and the car begins its push-off in the start.
We get her up to about 80 miles per hour with our push vehicle.
Rick, a lot of people may not understand the significance of the push. Why do you have to do that?
Well, the car itself has a 5-speed gearbox in it, and low gear is geared at 210 miles per hour. High gear is 440 miles per hour. So in order for the car to be able to start pulling the gear, we have to get it up to 80, and then it'll accelerate away from the push vehicle.
And now the Vesco Streamliner underway, on track, beginning to build momentum. Rick, this is very important. Tell us what's going on now.
Well, right now he's trying to get it up to enough RPM so that the cams will kick in and put that 1,200 horsepower down to the Salt.
And now, from our onboard camera, you can get a look at 200 miles an hour of what's going through the eyes of Don Vesco. I'll tell you, I'd have butterflies in my stomach now, above 250 miles per hour.
We're looking at speeds that are incredible, that if you have a problem, you know it's going to take a while for emergency crews to get to you. So Don's thinking about keeping it straight, keeping it online, and trying to get the traction and the gear ratios that he needs.
300 miles per hour, Rick. This is going to be good.
It looks good to me. Right now, everything's going well.
He's really holding it well.
Yeah, it's in line. Floating mountain in the distance again.
There is nothing
4
to
miles.
reckon with here.
Look at the plume of salt. It's definitely getting some traction. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Listen to those motors.
And from our onboard point of view camera, 350 miles per hour, Rick. It looks like it's going to be a great run.
It looks good for a first run. It's a little bit wobbly here. Maybe he's got some wind across the track. Here we go. He's into the traps.
here.
It looks like it. It seems like he's getting a little bit off course here. Must be some kind of a problem.
Whoa! Black line! Rick, what happened? What can you tell happened there?
Well, I don't know. For some reason, he definitely went to the left side of the track.
All right, Don Vesco has gone off to the side of the track. The ambulances are coming over, but we are really unsure as to what has happened right now to this car. Can you give us any preliminary opinion?
Well, it definitely caught on fire, and I'll tell you what, you can spin, you can flip, you can do a lot of things out here, but fire is the one thing that drivers dread the most.
And look at the smoke coming out of that
It's
car.
incredible. Yes, it really did get hot inside. I would say that thing was just about ready to go up in flames. The fire system obviously worked on it because the flames are definitely out. The helmet is incredibly burnt, as you can see.
I wasn't sure what it was, you know, just it filled up with smoke, and the smoke was, you know, choked me. I couldn't breathe. And I couldn't see inside the car. I couldn't see out of the car, so I kind of tried to go off to the left so they'd find me, because if you go off to the left, that's the emergency side, but I couldn't see where I was going, so I don't know if I did go to the left or not. And I couldn't get the hatch to open. It tore the handle off, and it got real hot. And I got up, I don't know, it was like 200 degrees in there. I don't know what it was. It's not hurt bad, whatever it is. It's, you know, it rolled down to here, and I just got to figure out a better breathing system when it does fill up like that. But it's not wrecked. You know, we can fix it, whatever it is. It can't be that bad. I was going pretty fast, I think, when it hit on. I was going to go as fast as it go.
Rick, here's another look at that dramatic moment.
Smoke in the cockpit. That's why we keep spectators a quarter mile away, for safety reasons.
Welcome back, everybody, to Bonneville, and we have just had an extraordinary development. And Rick, your brother in the car, what thoughts were going through your mind?
Well, at the time, I didn't know what had happened because he was so...
Bonneville is Roger Lessman out of Avon, Colorado, and you get a look at him getting prepared to go. Rick?
Yeah, this is a V6 powered streamliner. It's a fully ground effect streamliner. This car definitely has potential of 300 miles per hour plus.
Rick, explain ground effect to me.
Well, the ground effects car has a skirt that's right down on the salt all the way around the parameter of the car, letting practically no air underneath the car whatsoever.
So Roger Lessman getting pushed out here. He's already gone 292 for a new record, and he's trying to improve on that. And there's Betty Birkeland, one of a handful of women who run annually at Bonneville. In her bio, she describes herself as wife, mom, cook, photographer, helper, gopher, and driver. And, oh, by the way, she has set records.
The Team Vesco car has determined that it was an electrical fire. You see them here, rewiring the entire vehicle, getting prepared for another run.
And now you look at the run of Roger Lessman. Doesn't look like this is as fast, Rick, as he had hoped for. Can you assess his run?
Well, it looks like he's having mechanical problems. Every run can't be a record run, and as you can see, he's going quite a bit slower than in past runs. In fact, here's the parachute now. He's in the lights with the parachute out, so he's aborted this run.
Roger Lessman, the chute is out, as you can see. Roger Lessman, he's already had several great runs in the competition. And our next car up is number 7795 Danny Boy, driven by Ed Trade-Up of Brewster, Washington. Nice looking car. And take a look at that, Rick. Some memorabilia, people that have signed the inside of a car there. Quite interesting.
People sign footballs and everything else. Why not the underside of your hood?
That's surely to be a collector's item.
Yes, it will be. Looks like these guys are getting prepared to go fast here.
And now you see Danny Boy, driven by Ed Trade-Up, underway in this run. And let's see what he can do.
Boy, he looks like he's going fast here, probably around 280 miles per hour.
And Danny Boy is in the timing trap.
He's exactly where he wants to be. Whoa, we got some problems.
What was, what was that? What caused that, Rick?
Boy, I don't know, but he went clear, looked like all the way around, upside down, and then back on its wheels. That's an incredible spill right there.
A very dramatic development here at Bonneville for Danny Boy.
Spun clear around. Unbelievable. He could be hurt in that car. I'll tell you what, you can spin around, but when you go upside down, you can start dumping oil out in the engine compartment.
And you look and see that smoke coming off, and I'll tell you, a fear-inspiring crash that ended up looking like the car uprighted itself, and there is Ed Trade-Up being escorted over to the ambulance. He looks okay, Rick.
He seems to be okay. The car doesn't look too good right now. A lot of smoke.
Technicians taking a look at the car. There you see what Ed Trade-Up saw. A very dramatic development. Smoke coming out of the car. He is okay.
Earlier in the competition, we've seen several spins, but when you turn upside down and flip, we're looking at oil and gasoline or fuel spilling inside the car. It can be really dangerous.
Accelerating down the course, was going fine until about the 2.5 mile, and I noticed that it was going to the right very hard, and so we just kept coming back slower and slower and slower, and then it was doing all right. It was right on course about the 3, and then I saw the 4, and it was really cooking, and then kept going, and then we started getting a little smoke. We've had some problems of a little bit of oil getting in onto the headers out of the valve covers, and it just got smoked up too much, and that's when I shut it down. And I had it shut down, but then I couldn't see, and the wind kept pulling it over, and I just didn't get both chutes out fast enough to straighten it all out. First thing I do want to say is I want to thank the Lord for guiding me through this. No big deal. Just banged around a little bit, and I just said, "Oh golly, I'm going like so many other guys at one time or another have crashed a car."
And there you see another look of Ed Trade-Up's car. Rick, can we tell what happened?
Well, it looks to me like he got a little bit of a wind out of that mountain range there, and it blew him off course, and he hit one of our timing lights. It's amazing.
Absolutely unbelievable. Ed Trade-Up. Fortunately, he's okay. And there you see the car being towed away, and we'll be back with more from Bonneville in just a moment. Stay with us. Thank the State Line Inn and Casino for their assistance in this production. 100 of the world's fastest drivers are here for this 3rd annual World of Speed. Nevertheless, over the last 50 years or so, thousands of drivers have sliced the wind between these 2 long black lines. One of the things that makes the Salt Flats interesting is its legacy.
I've been coming to the Salt Flats since I was 3 years old with my father. I started racing in 1961 when I got my driver's license at 16 years old.
Many of us were introduced to the world of Bonneville by the old newsreels that played in theaters across the country.
One of the all-time kings of speed, Sir Malcolm Campbell, was out for a still memorable record at the Bonneville Salt Flats. In his super-powered Bluebird, Sir Malcolm blazed across the Utah desert at a speed that literally melted his tires. With new tires, a second pass on the torrid course, and a still impressive auto speed mark of over 300 miles an hour for Sir Malcolm Campbell.
The Bonneville Salt Flats are a hot rod paradise. 200 amateur drivers turn up with their homegrown speedsters for the 3rd annual National Speed Trials. Hot rods are built of a multitude of parts with a multitude of ideas and creative skill, and their pilots come from a multitude of places to burn up the sands that are made famous by John Cobb, Ab Jenkins, and others. Now, the lowly hot rod, a pushy upstart from the other side of the tracks, has his place in the sun. Retraction. Some are streamlined beauties, but they all answer to the name Hot Rod and all make the same beeline for fame and fortune. Last year, the winner here was clocked at 210 miles per hour. No wonder they have the race on the Salt Flats. Official timers clock a new record for number 777, powered by 2 V8 engines, souped up to a total of 400 horsepower. The streamlined winner hit 215 for a new national record. Congratulations for Hot Rod Harrigan, Willie Jones.
There is a great tradition, but the drivers have noticed over the years the deterioration of the Salt Flats surface. If it's going to be saved, it needs to be saved right now.
we've seen a deterioration on the perimeter of the salt, but because of the high water that we had in 80 through about 86, we've seen a definite increase in the quality of the surface crust since those years. But we're concerned about the loss on the perimeter and the overall loss, which we've been doing a study on. The study that we completed about a year ago, which updates the one that we did 14 years ago, indicates that we're still losing about 1% of the salt on the surface here each year, and that's about 1.6 million tons annually. We're concerned about that because at that rate, in 10 years there will not be racing possibly. In 30 years there won't be enough salt to sustain what we call the Bonneville Salt Flats. Most indications, we believe that the mineral extraction of potash from this area is depleting the resource, but we need to update our studies to be sure that that is where the salt has been taken. We have issued valid leases, and the potash company in this area does have a legal and an existing right to extract the brine, which is the water, which has potash in it, but subsequently it has the salt too. And when we lose that salt, which is a byproduct of the potash, we lose the formation of the crust and the halite crystal on the surface. They come out here and they've raced for 60, 70 years. They do something here that's non-surface disturbing. And as long as the salt crust will support that activity, we're happy to have them and filmers for TVs and motion pictures come out and use this resource. Lake Bonneville, which existed 10 to 30,000 years ago, was an inland sea. It covered 1/3 of Utah. It evaporated and drained, leaving the residues of minerals in this basin right here. So it just concentrated the minerals down to one spot, left the salt in this area, and also left the Great Salt Lake near Salt Lake City, which is a remnant of that ancient sea. The crust on the Speedway is about 3 inches thick. You know, there's an aroma to this place that's just unmatched by any other. And in the evenings when you come out and the sun sets and you get that real nice light, it's just like being out of the state or out of the United States or in a different place. And it just draws people back. There's a magnetism about it. I guess it's just being out and actually seeing the curvature of the earth and being somewhere where there are no noises from people, trains, trees, any trash, debris. It's just unique, unmatched by any other place. And I understand there are other salt flats in Peru and Australia which are inaccessible, but we've got this right here in our backyard. And Utah's real fortunate to be able to support racing, filming, you know, and just have millions of people come out annually to see this area, and they do. I'll stand at the end of the access road for 2 or 3 hours just to talk to people and just see their reaction, because they're just in awe, you know, looking at this ancient remnant sea lake bed. Just an amazing place.
Salt Flats, everybody. Peter Graves along with Rick Vesco, and you're seeing a magnificent picture from our fantastic helicopter pilot, Scott Spittler, who has driven here at Bonneville. Thanks for the great bird's eye view, Scott. And there you see the look of the McKeegan Schultz Streamliner as it gets ready to go. Rick, it's a beautiful car.
I'm really jealous here. This is a beautiful car. It's probably one of my favorite. It runs an alloy front wheel system that absolutely keeps the aerodynamics low and lean. The car's got a small block 302 Chevrolet that's normally aspirated. In other words, no supercharger. The machine runs on gasoline, similar to mine.
An impressive car.
It really is, and here he goes off the line. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think he's looking at some top speeds in the neighborhood of 260 miles per hour, and he definitely has the ability here.
Tim Schultz driving the car today. 350 horsepower Chevy, as you can see.
It's
and
a
now
nice
our onboard camera.
There you are, floating mountain in the background, and he's already underway and moving really fast. He's shifting the gears. He just passed a mile marker, which I didn't even pick up.
Well above 200 miles per hour right there, Rick.
He's kicking out a roost, so you know he's moving pretty fast. The motor's sounding really nice.
This just illustrates the awesome speed here at Bonneville.
4 mile marker. He's just getting into high gear, and he is ready to enter the measured mile. He's hoping everything holds steady and nothing happens at this point. Keep the RPMs right where they belong. 5 mile marker. He is now into the measured mile. You're going to see the kilo come by here. It doesn't take long. There's the kilometer. The mile will be next. He's traveling a mile in about 11 seconds. There you are. He's out of the lights, and he's going to be hitting the parachute real soon.
And an extraordinary run, 265.8 miles per hour for Tim Schultz, the McKeegan-Schultz car.
Yes.
And of speed is simply not just for cars. It also includes other human-powered vehicles. And one of our entries right now is the Easy Racer Gold Rush team out of Freedom, California. You see former U.S. Olympic cyclist, Ironman triathlon winner, and world speed record holder on a bicycle, John Howard, being shoehorned into this tandem Easy Racer Gold Rush vehicle. There is the 1976 U.S. Olympic road cycling star, Freddie Markham, out of Santa Cruz, California. He'll be piloting this vehicle. Now, earlier today, Howard and Markham went 49 miles per hour. The world record in a tandem vehicle, 52 miles per hour, so that's the mark they're going to be shooting for. And from a technology standpoint, Rick Vesco, this is really something.
We're at 4,300 feet here, and for these gentlemen to go over 50 miles per hour is going to take a lot of talent and a lot of effort on these gentlemen's part. John Howard's the man that can do it. I've worked with him before.
And Rick, you remember it so well. September 1985, John Howard in a solo pursuit of the world record. A fear-inspiring attempt to set a new world record at the Bonneville Salt Flats.
It's an incredible thing. I'm surprised that John did it as well as he did, but he followed the Vesco family streamliner here. 153 miles per hour, pedaling a bicycle. I think he was going to come out and pass me at one point. Here we go down the salt right here. I have to have extreme concentration on the run because basically I'm the block for the wind.
Over the years, the sport has had many heroes, but John Howard today rode into the record books back in 1985 with 152 miles per hour.
The object is to really get to about your objective, which would be your starting point for the flying 1 mile. You try to get to that point as rested as possible, but with as much speed as you can get. And so that's, you know, it's hard because you sometimes misjudge it and you die halfway through the traps or something, or you have something left at the end. So it is real critical to time it right. John's great, you know, and I'm glad he was there. And I'll tell you something, you know, cycling isn't exactly a team sport, but being on a tandem is. And it's nice to be able to compete with somebody like that on a team level. I can feel the horsepower coming from John in the bike, and I have had other riders as tandem partners before, and John seemed awfully strong. Being a competitive cyclist, when I started this sport, you would have never had convinced me that speeds like this were possible. And I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy for John too. It was a good effort on both our parts, so I think we pulled it off in the end.
And for Howard and Markham, a most gratifying run, a new world record, 58.6 miles per hour.
We just kind of got pumped up on it, and we just knew we had a good run coming. This is great. This is Bonneville. This is what it's all about.
Yeah. I felt 100% stronger this time, just by the fact that I was warmed up. It was exciting in there. I felt like I could breathe a little more. We were getting some more air in, but the swirling salt was definitely an exciting ride.
Real team effort. It took two really strong guys here, and pretty well developed bicycle, the help of a lot of my friends. And we finally made it to Bonneville and got a good run in for us. It wasn't 400 miles an hour, but for us it was almost.
World record.
Yeah, world record too.
Going 388 miles per hour in a great run here at Bonneville. At Bonneville, of course, you see a lot of cars, you see a lot of grease, and a lot of oil. But that's not all. And Rick, now you see the car of Jim Howe of Walnut Creek, California.
Jim has turned 270 in this car, and not only that, last year he spun this car at 270 miles an hour.
Rick, this is my first visit to Bonneville. It's really a wonderful place and a great competition.
special thing about Bonneville Salt Flats is it wasn't man-made like Indianapolis Motor Speedway or the Daytona 500. Bonneville Salt Flats was made by Mother Nature, or God, if you will. We're just here to use it. We don't build fences, walls, lay down asphalt. We just come out and put on a pretty good show for the racers and the spectators, and use a facility that was created in the inception of Earth. And to me, that's the special thing about this being a race course for land speed records, is the fact that it isn't man-made. It's one of the wonders of the world, and should be treated as such. The ironic thing is that the people who race at Bonneville are a different breed of racing people, other than the stock car or the Indy type people. These guys race because the conquest of breaking a record and personal satisfaction of doing that, the sound of the motor, to see the car going across just an extremely beautiful setting, pure white salt. To me, I just get total goosebumps. It gets my adrenaline flowing as if I was strapping on a good sprint car and going to go run a 100-mile sprint car race. It all adds up to the Bonneville Salt Flats.
Bonneville, and you're looking at an aerial shot of that long 11-mile track here. And Rick, it has been a marvelous competition with a lot of great records.
Peter, we've seen the fastest times in over 20 years. Al Teague at 392, Rick and Nolan White at 388. 20 records fell, and they're elusive records.
Bonneville is a special place for special people, for people that are interested in only one thing, going fast. It's absolutely unique in American sports culture. For the men that follow this long black line down this 11-mile course, they're interested in only one thing, more miles per hour. For the men that have gone in this competition and those that await their moment in the spotlight, it has been a marvelous experience. For all of us here then, this is Peter Graves saying so long everybody from the Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah. Our thanks to the volunteers of the Utah Salt Flats Racing Association, who've made this a great American event.